I just want to walk through beginning on Access Module 1 just to make sure everyone's clear on how to get started and download your very first Access textbook project. So when you go to download the project through SAM MindTap, you're going to go to this screen after you download it from your Blackboard online classroom. You should see your ebook, your reading file here, which you'll click on that to pull up the ebook. Then you'll see a start file and your one support file. We've had support files before when we were working in Excel. And so you'll have one support file in this very first project as you're working through the textbook project. So as I'm downloading my start file, I see a message. It may not come up on every computer, but most likely you will see this message at least the first few times when it comes up. It typically comes up on my computer. So if you do see it, don't worry. It's really okay. It says this type of file can harm your computer. Do you want to keep the new Microsoft Access file and Access database file anyway? And you can say keep. It really is okay. It's not going to harm your computer. It's just something about the Access database files that puts a message in there like that. So I promise it's okay. It's not going to harm your computer. It's okay to keep that. It just comes up on some types of computers because of the security features on them that a large database file it just flags it. Okay, so it's really okay. It's not going to harm your computer. You'll see that an Access file looks just a little bit different than what Excel does because it's a database. It's not an Excel file. So it is a little bit different. And so when we pull this up, I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like in here. So we want to enable the content on it. You always want to enable content before you get started working, and that way you have all the features enabled and you're able to access everything in your database as you're working on your file. You do have a message on here. It says, attention students, create a new table in the data sheet view by clicking the Create tab, which is right here on the ribbon, and then clicking the Table button, not the Table Design button, in the Tables group. Continue this SAM project by following the instructions in your book or in the MindTap Reader under the heading Create a Table in Data Sheet View. So that tells me that I need to go find this section in my book and follow the directions that are listed there. So that's very important. So anytime you see something that says attention students in it, you need to read that because it is a message specifically for you to help you get started in that assignment. So make sure you read that if you see that in there. Whenever you download assignments from Blackboard Online Classroom, you need to make sure that you have something that says grading info table. If you do not see this grading info table up here, you need to delete this file, go back to your Blackboard Online Classroom and re-download your file again, because you will not get a graded report and you won't be able to see anything that you missed. Okay, so if you don't see this grading info table, delete this file, go back and start over. Okay, so when you have your file open, this is the little window in here that it's talking about to close out tabs in here. So you can close the little tabs. This is your objects over here on the left-hand side. You have, right now, we currently have tables. The only table we have available is our grading info table. And the form that we have available is our SAM textbook project info. Okay, those are the only two items that are in our database right now. Okay, so these are the only two things we have. In my grading info table, it has my first and last name, what assignment I have, and my unique user ID. So this is unique to every single student. So again, if you do not have this grading info table, you need to delete this file, go back and re-download it from your Blackboard online classroom. Okay. So I'm going to, again, close this little table. You don't want to X out up here because you're going to X out the entire project. You want to X out right here and close this table. It's very good practice to close every table as you finish working within that table. And that just keeps it clean and makes sure that nothing gets kind of mixed in between, or you're not working in the wrong table or the wrong form, the wrong item. Okay. So it's just very good practice to do that. This is your save button up here on the left-hand side. So this allows you to kind of save your work as you go. So as you're making changes within your Access database, you want to go up here and periodically save. Okay. So after I make a change, and it often tells you that in the directions to go up here and save and then close out your table. So you want to save a change and close your table. So that's what it's talking about when it tells you to do that. Okay. So let's go over to the ebook and let me show you kind of what it's going to be telling you to do as you're walking through here. So when you first go in to get started, I think it originally will pull you up at right here at AC 1-3, starting, access, and creating a database. And it tells you to click on the start button and create a new blank database. We don't have to do that because we already have our new Microsoft Access database. Okay, so we don't have to do this step. The only reason this step is in there is because some schools don't use MindTap and they don't have files provided for them. And so they're having to go out and create their own files. Okay, well, I've provided all the start files for you, so you don't have to do that. So just ignore this very first step as you're getting started. Okay, so you don't have to do that. What you do need to do is go ahead and save your file as the word Lakewood. And if you're not sure exactly what that looks like, you can always go back over to your project file over here and look to see what your ending expected file name needs to be. And you'll see that it's Lakewood _ your first name, last name. And again, we're not going to add that extension on it because Access will automatically add the extension on there for us, kind of just like Excel used to do. Okay. So you will just add this Lakewood _ first name, last name. Okay. So let's go back and go ahead and do that right now. And again, this is in section AC 1-3, and I'll just skip down to create a new Lakewood database, and it's right under the SAM section. And I just am naming the Lakewood box, or naming the Lakewood database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to, just like I would in Excel, I'm going to go up to File, Save As, and I'm going to click on the little disk right here. Save As, and then I can choose where I want to save this database. Okay, if you can just choose the location where you want that to be, and then you're going to change the name to Lakewood. You should already have the underscore in your first and last name. And then just make sure if you've downloaded it multiple times that you delete that and then press save. Okay. So I've changed the name of it. Again, it may tell you to enable the content. You want to do that. And then it's going to again pop up this textbook project where it gives me my information on how to get started. Okay. And again, it's telling me that I need to create a new table. Okay. And it tells me how to do that by going to the Create tab. If you're following along in the directions in the book, it's telling you to go to the browse button and all of this stuff. And again, we created a brand new, our brand new Access database was already created for us. So we don't have to do that. We're at this point right here where we have saved our file. And so we've already saved this, and we are right here on step number 8 where we are clicking create, where Access creates the new table. So we're going to go up to create and we're going to click on table. So it automatically creates a new table. I'm going to close out this table right here so that it's clean up here and I don't have anything else up here. So I'm creating a new table. Let me pull my instructions back up really quickly so that we can see where we're at. So I just finished number 8. Moving to the next one. This is working in touch mode. You can absolutely work through this section just so you know how to do that, especially if you're not using a mouse, or if you're using a laptop and not using the mouse, you can follow through this and see how to use the touch mode. And then you're really getting started right here. So you should have done the Create tab. In the Tables group, click the Table button. We just did that. And then you can start renaming the defaults, ID primary key, changing the default data type. These are the steps that we're fixing to do. Okay, so it's giving me kind of an overview about what we're doing. This is what we're going to be doing in this. We're going to be completing a plan for the visit table. And then you can go ahead and go over to section 1-4A. We're renaming the defaults primary key fields. So this is really where you're getting started here. And we're in the ID column. This is a column and these are rows. Okay, so it's kind of like Excel, ID and row. So we're in the ID column and we're clicking the rename field. Okay, so we'll just follow along with this and you'll just follow the directions as you go down through here. It gives you pictures to see how to do all of these items down through here. It's got pictures to go down through there, but hopefully that lets you know where you're supposed to be, how to get started, and all of that. Let me go over and show you what you want to do when you get finished with this section. You'll go back to, again, save as you go, click the little disc up here, close out tables as you're finishing by clicking this little X right here. When you get finished with your project and get ready to submit it, you'll go to this little disc up here at the top, or I'm sorry, to the file button, file. You'll always want to compact and repair before you submit your assignment. What this does is it compresses your database. Databases can be really large. They can take up a lot of space on your file. And so compacting and repairing your database will just compress it down so it doesn't take up as much storage space on your computer. And then it can repair any types of issues within the database itself. So it just compacts and repairs that down. Okay, makes it little, so not as much storage space. Once that's finished, it only takes a few seconds typically. You'll go back to File, Save As, and then you're back to the same place you were when we first started a while ago when we renamed our database. Okay, you'll go back to Save As, and it gives you a message. All open objects must be closed prior to continuing this operation. If you have not saved all of those, click no, go back and make sure everything is saved. Close all your windows, and then you can do this again. File, Save As, save, make sure you've named it correctly. There's not supposed to be a 1 at the end, so just make sure it's named correctly. Choose your location where you want it to be saved. And then now my project is ready to submit. I'm going to go back in here to submit this. I'm going to find my file. And I'm just going to drag it in there. I've just got this in my download folder, I think. Here we go. And I can drag that over. If you have your name saved correct, it's ready to submit. You'll submit your file. Takes a couple of seconds to do that. Once you've done that, you should be able to view your report, especially if you've downloaded it from Blackboard Online Classroom. You should be able to see your report. Again, you'll probably get the message that it can harm your computer. It's okay. It's not going to harm your computer. So just pull this up. Here's my file. I'm going to enable my content, and my report is listed right here under reports. Okay. So looks a little different than it did in Excel. You know, in Excel, it was down here at the bottom. I got a report on my sheet tabs. Well, and on Access, it's listed under reports. So I'm going to pull up my grading report. It'll have your name. It'll have what number of submission this is. It'll have your score. And then it'll list the items just like it did in Excel that you might have missed. Notice that there could be multiple pages down here at the bottom. I'm not sure if this one's going to show it or not, but it may say page 1 of whatever. There's little buttons down at the bottom that you can scroll over. So if you don't see very many items, or you don't notice, or if you notice that it didn't list everything on your first page, just click over at the bottom and scroll over and see what all you've missed. Okay. So that is how you start off a project in Access. I hope that was helpful for you. That's how you see make sure that you have the correct project downloaded. If you see this grading info table, you're in the right place. And then when you do submit it, you will see your report under reports. So I hope that was helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will be happy to help. Hope you have a great day.